Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Sue Ellis-Saller, and I'm a tarot, angel, and oracle card reader. I'm doing like a video prompt thing that Ethony Dawn had listed on her website, and I'll leave the link for you. Basically, it's a 31 days of tarot video prompts. And instead of doing 31 days, I'm going to do 26 days because I'm going to be leaving for TarotCon on the 7th of October. And I'm really excited about that. That'll be my first TarotCon. And so I'm just, kind of leading up to that and getting back into, making videos about tarot. So I was like, what should I do to introduce this topic again on my blog? And so I decided to use this 31 days of tarot prompts from Ethony Dawn, like I said. And so I'm going to combine a few of the different days so that I can, number one, get it down to the 26 days that I need before I go. And number two, because it just feels right. So let's see, the day number one is supposed to be, what was your first introduction to tarot that made an impact? And I can't say for sure how I first came around tarot or working with the cards or anything like that, but I do remember being on a train one time and a guy who was also traveling, and this would have been when I was like 19 years old, so quite a long time ago. He read for me from the Thoth deck. And so the reading was really precise. It was on mark and everything, and I was really curious and I wanted to find out more. So therefore, day number two was, what was your first tarot deck? Was it a gift or did you buy it for yourself, and do you still have it? So my first deck was the Thoth, the Mirror of Your Relationship, and this is the Aleister Crowley deck. It's a bazillion years old, if you can, it's so worn out, so used. And I got this before the internet, and the book is really falling apart. I loved it. I've used it. I've just, there's so much information. This book is such a powerful book about not only about reading tarot, but also about discovering life. And that's why I'm really very happy that I bought the deck for myself. I bought it from a little esoteric bookshop that was in my area at the time. And of course I still have it, so you can see that I do still have it. But it's, it's so full of wisdom, and I love to read the books that come with the decks. I feel like there's so much different information, and that kind of addresses the third question as well, is, are you a tarot collector, hoarder, or an exclusive buddy? And I would definitely say I'm a collector, because there are so many so many good decks out there, so many different ways of seeing tarot, interpreting the different cards and everything like that, that I've found that every deck that I get has a different feel to it, number one, and also interprets the cards in a little bit of a different way in a lot of cases. And so like I said, I love looking at these books when you get them and just gleaning whatever information that I can, and seeing how the different artists and writers interpret the symbolism, interpret the meanings, and how the art, how the art really projects the meaning, because you have so many people who read just intuitively, and intuition is a big part of what I do with the cards, and how I read them. How do you use decks in your readings? So usually though, if I'm doing a reading, I might pull in, it just depends on what's sitting in front of me, actually, because there are days when I just have one deck right in front of me, and there are days when I could have 5 or 6 sitting on the table. So not only tarot, but also oracle cards as well. So it just depends on what is like in my area and what I'm looking for. And also sometimes I get a different deck out to, you know, kind of work with a little bit more, like the Mary L, for example, is one of my favorites. And it's also a more personal deck for me. I usually use it for myself, just because I feel like it's just one of those that I love the images and everything like that on them, but I'm still learning how to apply them in a way that, you know, kind of where I can look at the images as they come up and make a good interpretation out of them. So, does it aid my practice? Yeah, totally. Actually, as I mentioned before, you know, kind of working with different decks opens a different way of viewing the cards, number one. And also, like I said, I look at the books. I'll show you the Mary L maybe tomorrow because, you know, just looking at the questions here. But yeah, so my first deck was the Thoth. It's a really nice deck. I would say that sometimes it's a little bit different than the Rider-Waite, but also it's really kind of cool in a way to be able to look at, as I said, the different cards and how they differ between different decks and see how they're interpreted. Because of course you get the interpretation that's implied from the picture. You also get the words that go with it in any kind of keyword search or anything like that, Biddy Tarot, and also in the books. And even the Thoth has several different books written about it. So one author's interpretation of the deck would probably differ a little bit from another author's interpretation. So I use a lot of different resources when I'm working with the decks, and also, you know, I'm a lifetime learner in tarot. I don't think I know everything about tarot that there is to know, and I'm always like looking to pick up new ways of looking at the cards, new things, astrology, more in-depth symbolism, Kabbalah, things like that. So I think that is all for day one, and I hope you tune in to the rest of my days and lead up until TarotCon. And if you have any comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave me a comment in the space here on YouTube, or you can like me, of course. You can share this with your friends, and we'll talk soon. See you tomorrow. Bye.